Have you ever had that gut feeling that something just doesn't add up when someone's talking to you? You can't quite put your finger on it, but something feels off. It might be because they're not telling you the whole truth.
Lies, whether big or small, leave subtle footprints. Most people think lying is easy to spot. Shifty eyes, nervousness, stammering. But in reality, it's much more nuanced than that. Lying is a psychological act, a mental dance that involves managing facts, emotions, and impressions. In this video, we're going to uncover the 8 signs someone might be lying to you, not based on stereotypes or guesswork, but based on human behavior patterns you can actually observe if you pay close attention. Let's start with the first sign: inconsistency. A liar's story often lacks alignment. If you hear someone telling a story and then later hear them tell it differently, even if only slightly, it should raise an eyebrow. Consistency is the hallmark of truth, because truth is grounded in actual events that don't change. But when someone's making things up, they struggle to remember the details they invented. They might say they were at home watching a movie, but later mention they were out shopping that evening. These small contradictions may seem innocent, but if you notice a pattern of inconsistency, it could be a red flag. And it's not just the big details. Watch for changes in timelines, settings, or who was involved. When the pieces don't fit together naturally, it's often because someone is forcing them to. Second, observe their body language. Our bodies betray us far more easily than our words do. Someone might be speaking confidently, but if their posture is stiff, their feet are pointed toward the exit, or their arms are tightly crossed, it could mean they're feeling uncomfortable. Lying creates internal stress. That stress leaks out through nonverbal cues. Watch their hands. Are they fidgeting, touching their face, rubbing their neck, or playing with objects nearby? These behaviors can indicate nervousness and discomfort. Also, liars often have trouble maintaining eye contact, or sometimes they overcompensate by maintaining too much. It's not about one gesture or movement. It's about a pattern of physical signs that don't match their spoken confidence. Third, consider how they speak. A sudden change in speech patterns is a strong indicator of deception. Someone might speak more quickly, stumble over their words, or insert unnecessary pauses like or more than usual. Their voice may become higher-pitched due to stress, or they might start talking more slowly in an attempt to choose their words carefully. On the flip side, they may suddenly start speaking very formally or use overly complicated language to sound more convincing. Pay attention to how they normally speak and watch for any shift in their rhythm, tone, or vocabulary. People tend to stick to their natural speaking style when telling the truth, but when lying, they may subconsciously adjust their delivery to protect themselves. The fourth sign is avoiding direct answers. Have you ever asked someone a straightforward question, and they respond with a vague or overly detailed answer that still doesn't really answer the question? That's a classic sign of avoidance. Liars often dodge the actual question and hope you won't notice. Instead of saying, "Yes, I did," or "No, I didn't," they might say, "Why would I do something like that?" or "I was just trying to help." And these types of responses are designed to shift your focus away from the question and onto their explanation. It's a way of evading responsibility without outright denial. Truthful people answer clearly and directly. Liars try to steer the conversation in a different direction. Fifth, watch for emotional mismatches. When someone is lying, their emotions often don't match the content of what they're saying. For example, they might smile while talking about something serious, or show no emotion when discussing something that should provoke a strong reaction. These mismatches create a disconnect that your intuition will likely pick up on. Imagine someone says they're devastated by a loss, but their facial expression is flat and their tone is emotionless. That's a mismatch. Our emotions and words are usually in sync when we speak honestly, because we're experiencing the feelings in real time. But liars have to fake those feelings, and it doesn't always come across as authentic. If something feels off emotionally, pay attention. Next, let's talk about over-defensiveness, which is the 6th sign. If someone becomes unusually defensive when questioned, it might be because they feel threatened by the possibility of being exposed. They might say things like, "Why are you accusing me?" or "You never trust me." Instead of addressing your concerns calmly, they try to flip the script and make you feel guilty for even asking. This is a manipulation tactic. It's designed to shut down your curiosity and make you second-guess yourself. Truthful people may be confused or surprised when questioned, but they'll usually be willing to clarify or explain. Liars, on the other hand, are often quick to take offense and lash out emotionally in order to protect their lie. 7th, liars often provide too many details. You might think that the more someone says, the more truthful they are, but that's not always the case. In fact, liars sometimes go into excessive detail in an attempt to seem more believable. They'll describe every little thing, what time they left, what they wore, who they saw, what the weather was like, even when it's not necessary. They think that more details equal more credibility, but ironically, this can backfire. Most people don't remember every minor aspect of an experience, and they don't feel the need to over-explain. When someone gives you a flood of information you didn't ask for, it could be a sign they're trying to cover up a lie with a wall of words. It's not just what they say, it's why they feel the need to say so much. And finally, the eighth sign, microexpressions. These are fleeting facial expressions that last only a fraction of a second, but they can reveal a person's true emotions. Because they happen so quickly, often involuntarily, most people aren't aware they're even doing them. For instance, someone might flash a brief look of fear, guilt, or contempt before quickly replacing it with a smile. These tiny expressions are incredibly hard to fake or control, and they often contradict what the person is saying. You might hear them say they're not angry, but their face flickers with resentment. Spotting microexpressions takes practice, but once you're attuned to them, they can be one of the most powerful tools for detecting lies. Sometimes the best way to spot a lie is to say nothing at all. Let them talk. Liars often trap themselves when given enough space. They forget what they said earlier, make errors in logic, or add details that don't align. You don't need to confront them immediately. Just listen. Let their words reveal the truth, or the lack of it. Also, don't underestimate your intuition. You know that feeling you get when something just feels wrong? That's your brain picking up on subtle cues, even if you're not consciously aware of them. Your subconscious mind is incredibly good at detecting dishonesty. It's just that most people ignore it. Trusting your gut doesn't mean jumping to conclusions, but it does mean paying attention when something feels off. If you feel unsettled after a conversation, there's probably a reason. You don't need to become a human lie detector, but you do need to become emotionally intelligent. The more you understand human behavior, the better you can navigate your relationships. People lie, that's a fact. But you don't have to be a victim of their deception. You can learn to see through the mask. It takes observation, patience, and a willingness to look beyond the surface. The truth is often hidden in plain sight. Lying leaves footprints, inconsistencies, nervous tics, vague answers, mismatched emotions, over-explaining, and defensive reactions. Learn to read them. Use this knowledge not to judge, but to protect yourself, to understand people, to build stronger, more honest connections. Whether it's in a relationship, at work, or in daily life, the ability to detect dishonesty gives you an edge. It helps you see people for who they truly are, not just who they pretend to be. In a world where words can be manipulated, your best defense is awareness. Keep your eyes open, your ears sharp, and your mind alert. Lies can't survive under the light of truth, and now you have that light. Use it wisely.